In the darkness of human history, some crimes defy explanation, their shadows lingering long after the events have passed. Welcome to Whispers in the Shadows HQ. Tonight, we travel to the heart of Tuscany, a land renowned for its rolling hills, ancient art, and sun-drenched vineyards. A place synonymous with beauty and romance. But between the late 1960s and the mid-1980s, these idyllic landscapes became the hunting grounds for one of Italy's most terrifying and elusive figures, a phantom known only as Il Mostro di Firenze, the Monster of Florence. For 17 years, a brutal serial killer stalked the countryside, preying on unsuspecting couples seeking privacy in the moonlit lovers' lanes surrounding the historic city. The terror he unleashed would not only claim 16 lives, but would also trigger one of the most convoluted, chaotic, and frustrating investigations in modern criminal history, a maze of false leads, wrongful arrests, and tantalizing theories that have left a nation haunted. This is the story of a killer who was never caught, and the enduring mystery that chills Italy to this day. Our story begins on a warm summer night, August 21st, 1968, in the small town of Signa, just outside Florence. Barbara Locci and her lover, Antonio Lobianco, were parked in their white Alfa Romeo, hidden away on a secluded country road. Suddenly, the quiet of the night was shattered by gunfire. 8 shots from a .22 caliber Beretta pistol tore through the car. Antonio was killed instantly. Barbara, in a desperate attempt to save herself and her young son, Natalino, who was asleep in the back seat, was also shot and killed. The child, miraculously unharmed, was later found wandering down the road by a farmer, telling a story of his dead mother and the man who had shot her. Initially, police treated it as a crime of passion. Barbara's husband, Stefano Mele, was the prime suspect. Under intense interrogation, Mele confessed, implicating several other men in a confusing and contradictory tale of jealousy and revenge. He was convicted and sentenced to prison. The case was considered closed. For 6 long years, the people of Tuscany believed the killer was behind bars. They were wrong. On the night of September 14, 1974, near Borgo San Lorenzo, 2 teenagers, Pasquale Gentilcore and Stefania Pettini, were enjoying a romantic evening in their Fiat 127. The tranquility was broken by the same chilling signature, .22 caliber Beretta. Both were shot and killed, but this time the killer did something more, something that would define his horrific legacy. After the murder, he used a sharp blade to mutilate Stefania's body. When ballistics experts examined the shell casings found at the scene, they made a shocking discovery. The bullets were fired from the very same gun used to kill Barbara Locci and Antonio Lobianco 6 years earlier. Stefano Mele couldn't have been the killer. He was in prison. A terrifying realization dawned upon the investigators and the public. A serial killer was at large. The Monster of Florence had been born. The discovery sent a wave of panic across the region. The police were baffled. They had no witnesses, no forensic leads beyond the bullets, and a killer who seemed to melt back into the shadows after each attack. The media frenzy was immediate and intense, fueling public fear with sensational headlines and gruesome details. The Florentine hills, once a haven for young lovers, were now imbued with a palpable sense of dread. The monster's pattern was becoming terrifyingly clear. He targeted couples in parked cars, always on weekends, often near a new or full moon. He struck with brutal efficiency, using the same .22 Beretta, followed by a ritualistic mutilation of his female victims. The attacks were not random acts of violence, they were calculated, methodical hunts. As the years passed, the body count grew, and with each new double murder, the pressure on the Carabinieri, Italy's national police force, mounted to an unbearable degree. The investigation descended into chaos. Desperate for a breakthrough, investigators explored every conceivable theory, no matter how outlandish. They pursued leads pointing towards a Sardinian trail connected to the original 1968 murder and Stefano Mele's circle of acquaintances. This led to a series of arrests of Sardinian immigrants, but each one eventually proved to be a dead end, wasting precious time and resources. The investigation became a revolving door of suspects. Dozens of people were questioned, their lives turned upside down under the glare of public suspicion. Voyeurs, local eccentrics, and anyone with a criminal record for similar offenses were brought in. The police even consulted astrologers and psychics. The media, meanwhile, added fuel to the fire, publishing lurid theories that captivated and terrified the public. One theory suggested the killer might be a doctor or a butcher, given the surgical precision of the mutilations. Another, more elaborate theory pointed towards a secretive satanic cult that was commissioning the murders to obtain human trophies for dark rituals. This particular theory would gain significant traction and lead the investigation down its most infamous and convoluted path. In June of 1981, the monster struck again, killing Giovanni Foggi and Carmela De Nuccio. Then, just a few months later, in October, he murdered Stefano Baldi and Susanna Cambi. The pattern was identical, the brutality escalating. By now, the investigation had become a national obsession. The lead prosecutor on the case, Judge Mario Rotella, was under immense pressure. The Sardinian trail had gone cold. A new, compelling lead emerged from an anonymous letter, pointing investigators toward a group of wealthy and influential men from Florence. This became known as the Pacciani theory. The focus shifted to a farmer named Pietro Pacciani, a man with a violent past, including a conviction for killing a man in the 1950s after catching him with his then-fiancée. Pacciani was a coarse, brutish figure who seemed to fit the profile of a lone, rage-filled killer. Police raided his home and found newspaper clippings about the monster murders and items they considered suspicious. In 1994, Pacciani was put on trial, a spectacle that gripped the entire nation. He was convicted and sentenced to multiple life sentences, hailed as the capture of the monster. But the celebration was short-lived. The evidence against Pacciani was largely circumstantial. His conviction was overturned on appeal in 1996, with the court citing a lack of proof. Just as he was about to be retried for the murders, Pietro Pacciani died of a heart attack in 1998, taking any secrets he might have had to his grave. The case was thrown back into disarray. With Pacciani dead, the prosecution pivoted back to the satanic cult theory. They claimed Pacciani wasn't the lone killer, but merely the triggerman for a group of accomplices, his compagni di merende, or snacking buddies. Two of his friends, Mario Vanni and Giancarlo Lotti, were arrested. Lotti confessed, implicating both Pacciani and Vanni, and described a shadowy conspiracy involving a doctor who commissioned the killings. Based on this testimony, Vanni and Lotti were convicted. However, Lotti's confession was filled with inconsistencies and was widely believed to have been coerced or fabricated. Many observers and investigators remained deeply skeptical. The idea of a group of aging, rural men carrying out these complex, ritualistic murders for a secret cult struck many as far-fetched. The last confirmed attack by the Monster of Florence occurred in September 1985. A young French couple, Jean-Michel Cravechvili and Nadine Morio, were camping in a tent near San Casciano. They were shot and killed with the same .22 Beretta. The killer once again mutilated the female victim. And then, after 17 years of terror, the killings stopped. Just as suddenly as they began, they ceased. Why? Did the killer die? Was he imprisoned for another crime, or did he simply decide to stop? This abrupt end is one of the case's most perplexing enigmas. The gun, the murder weapon that tied all 16 deaths together, was never found. It remains the single most important piece of missing evidence, the key that could have unlocked the entire mystery. Without it, every theory remains just that, a theory. The legal saga continued for years, but no definitive answer ever emerged. The trials of the snacking buddies only seemed to muddy the waters further, leaving a legacy of doubt and dissatisfaction. Decades have passed since the last murder. The moonlit hills of Florence are quiet again. But the questions remain, hanging in the Tuscan air like a persistent fog. Was the monster a lone, calculating psychopath like Pietro Pacciani? Was he part of a sinister cult, carrying out horrific rituals? Or was he someone else entirely, a phantom who was never even considered a suspect? The case of the Monster of Florence stands as a stark reminder of the limits of justice and the enduring power of an unsolved crime to haunt a community. The files may be closed, but the case is far from resolved in the minds of the Italian people. 16 victims, a 17-year reign of terror, and a killer who vanished into history. Decades later, Italy still wonders. Who was the Monster of Florence? Thank you for joining us here at Whispers in the Shadows HQ. If you find these journeys into the dark corners of history compelling, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more unsolved mysteries. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.